And we're live. And I've been getting a lot of DMs about the controversy of the ketogenic diet being one of the worst diets of 2018 according to the Today Show. So let's review the controversy. All right. Guys, I'll just wait for you guys to chime in. Now, this is exactly what I was worried about years ago. What's up, Monique? And Olivia, and who else said hi? Briseis. What's up, everyone? So let's talk about this controversy here. Okay. Been running around for the past week. Sorry I've missed you. No worries, Briseis. Hi, Johnny. Okay. So, as you guys are chiming into the chat, let's talk about this. And I better hurry up because the sun's going to go real fast. Let the learning begin, David says. Okay, so years ago, when I decided to cut out, what's up, Deborah? When I decided to cut out the cheese and the nuts and the caffeine and up the animal fat, I knew that there would be a backlash. So years ago, I was on Reddit and they would take one of my old videos and review it and be like, she's nuts. She's telling you to take out all this food. And then I even became more extreme by saying, don't eat too much protein. And, people became even more triggered. And at that point, there's probably about maybe 3 to 4 years of me being on the internet talking about keto. Hi, everyone coming in. What can you do for uric acid? Buildup? Yes. So you have to be careful for certain types of meats that you're eating, but I'll go more into that later. So the problem is that the explosion of keto, of dirty keto, of horrific keto is the problem. And people are running out and they're not eating even like, somebody sent me an article about doctors trying to minimize epileptic seizures and she sent me the food that they were eating was chicken breasts, canola oil, and these are ketogenic protocols to help people with epilepsy, children and adults. So if you can imagine that health institutions are having human beings eat canola oil and chicken breast as a keto food, you can imagine how the food porn industry has gone crazy on deep fried cream cheese, that people are making cream cheese pancakes and using almond flour. And somebody said on one of those shows that you could drink liquor on a ketogenic diet. Just absolute absurdity and nonsense. And people are getting sick. And now we're starting to see videos that say, keto's dangerous. Women can't do it for the long haul. People cannot do it for a long period of time. It's not a good diet. It's just good for the short. Now we're starting to see all these videos come out. I told people way back when that if you didn't do it right, it would make you sick. But nobody would listen to me. Finally giving up wine, nuts, and cheese, dirty keto. Exactly, hashtag. But I know my main problem is stress. Okay. So I've spoken about this before. And hi, Anthony. Okay, okay. So my moderator, Deborah, is reminding you guys to like the chat so we can bring more people to this channel, because I'm going to debunk this whole keto is the worst diet of 2018 nonsense. Now, when you go on the internet, it is the worst diet, but not here where y'all are sitting today. So to like the stream, to bring more people to my channel, to make aware that there is a right way to do this protocol, hit the X, collapse it, and hit the like button and reopen the chat, and the X is in the top right corner to like the stream. So hopefully we'll bring more people here. So nuts or no. Like, you guys, look. Let me just break down some of the areas where people do things the wrong way. Number one, people are refeeding on carbs each week. That's not ketogenic. It's horrible. Your blood sugar is so dysregulated. Number two, I should put the 5 reasons why a ketogenic diet is the worst rated, one of the worst rated diets of 2018, according to the Today Show. So number 2, people are refeeding on alcohol. And then there's these dry wines that people think that they can drink, and they're calling them keto wines. So these are all faux pas, bull crap, nonsense, embarrassing stuff that adults are spewing out. So no xanthan gum, if you can avoid it. So with that said, people are also using almond flour for a lot of their, they're using almond flour for their faux keto, faux carb, dirty keto base flours. It's just ridiculousness. Like, they could use flax and coconut flour, which I'm even on the edge about that, but they're just going straight for the high in phytic acid, too many carb, nut, flour. I mean, I don't understand this. Then there's the faux pas and misnomers and ridiculousness that you can have a lot of protein, or you can have protein shakes and pea shakes. And people are saying, like, you can drink coffee and bulletproof coffee and intermittent fast. People are doing keto with shrimp and tilapia and chicken breasts as their protein. I'm shiting you not. People are using olive oil all day, cooking with olive oil. More misnomers that MCT oil puts you into ketosis. Coconut oil puts you into ketosis. These are all bullcrap. People doing cream or milk, sour cream, cottage cheese on keto. People are eating cheese. They're eating nuts. They are, it's just the ridiculousness of all of it. People are doing decaf coffee, which has benzyl chloride and chemicals. People are, can you do a video about the toxicity of alcohol and why to stop drinking? Like, I mean, it's not like you can't Google it yourself. I mean, alcohol is a poison. So, it's got ethanol. In regards to keto, the ethanol slams your blood sugar up real high and then real low, and you become hypoglycemic. It's just nonsense. And then you have like, oh, my blood sugar's in the 60s. And I'm like, but you're hypoglycemic. Oh, what's that? So then let's get on to the portions of people not eating. First of all, people aren't eating enough fat, right? They're refeeding. They're eating all these inflammatory foods. They're eating foods with too many carbs. They're telling people that 50 to 80 carbs is ketogenic. Then there's these ridiculous percentages. 60% fats, ketogenic. It's embarrassing. And then people will do like, I'm doing 90% fat from 1,000 calories. I'm like, that's not keto. So this is the reason why you see now on the Today Show them saying that keto is one of the worst diets of 2018 as far as diet trends go. And now we know why. So now stuff's not crazy anymore. When you guys are sitting there and just completely raking me down on, and there was actually P in there, in that word, on Reddit, and telling me how ridiculous I am. So now I'm working with people who are actually adapting. It's amazing. They are adapting because I don't have them do all that dirty keto nonsense. Cake and presents. How does keto become mainstream? Sadly, people have no idea how to do it. Yes, so sadly, here we have this amazing, amazing dietary protocol that can help people with cancer, autoimmunity, rheumatoid arthritis, right, Deborah? Osteoarthritis, inflammation, gut issues, thyroid issues, reproductive hormonal issues, colitis, all itises, diverticulitis, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Like, it helps with so many disorders. And now people who really need to do this dietary measure that could actually help save their life now are going to be dissuaded of doing it because the Today Show says it's one of the worst diets of 2018. And now all these people are doing videos saying how horrible it is. Like, now I see it. I did the ketogenic diet. Look at the reason why I quit the ketogenic diet. I'm like, yeah, look at it. Look at it, honey. So that's the thing, and I knew this was going to happen 6-7 years ago. I knew it was going to happen. It was going to go really high and get really, really popular and then crash. And I would say that. I would like, this diet's going to come and go just like Atkins did, or all diets go, sadly. And now it's happening. Doing keto your way for 3 months. 3 months now. Recently got breast nodules, which may self-absorb not. What? Absorb no not. What I can do to fix this. Keto is amazing. So if you had nodules, so that's a really, do you mean cysts in your breasts? Most likely you had cysts more than, it's going to take a long time to create a cyst. It's not going to happen in 3 months. This is something you had before. And people, don't laugh, educate us. I'm not laughing. Of course I'm going to laugh. Or else I'm going to get bored. Or else I'll put like a long sleeve shirt on, button it up to here and use a whiteboard. Of course I have to laugh. Just at life. Thank you, Peter. So these are some of the things that are happening. And keto absolutely, listen to all, I'm going to give you the list of all the horrible things that can happen to your body doing keto the wrong way. So number one, another thing is people don't have enough electrolytes. So you have water in here. So instead people are like, what can I drink on keto? Can I drink milk? Can I drink tea? Can I drink coffee? And I'm like, drink water. You need some H2O. So the problem is that some people dump a lot of water when they first do a ketogenic diet, and their kidneys are not rebalancing because they're not rebalancing their electrolytes. So a lot of people who lift or do bodybuilding or athletic or any type of sport, they're like, I'm flat in the muscle, like, you know, am I going to be flat forever? And I'm like, first of all, you're gluconeogenic, your adrenals are overfiring, and your electrolytes and your water balances your ability to, you know, the whole thing about for every 1 bite of every 1 gram of a carbohydrate that you eat, typically you hold on to 2.8 grams of water, and some people can hold up to 4 grams of water in the cell. So carbohydrating the cell. So if you're not eating starches and sugars, then you're going to dump a lot of water, and with that you're going to dump potassium, sodium, and magnesium. So then you start having like constipation, you have headaches, you have heart palps. People are not adapting, and so they feel tired, they feel weak. People's hair starts falling out. Men's libido drops. Women, their menstrual cycle either becomes longer days in between, or they're bleeding a lot of the days on their cycle, or they'll lose their cycle. People having a hard time to sleep because a lot of people are using the carbohydrate to create low blood sugar, hypoglycemia to fall asleep. People begin to have inverted cortisol. This one guy was going on and on and on and on and on in this video about how keto creates physiological insulin resistance. So that's insulin resistance because of chronically, and this is some of the stuff that's happening now when you watch the Today Show and the review on the keto diet. This physiological insulin resistance rebound is because if you're not adapted, which now you guys are realizing, stop using urine strips because they don't work. And you're not adapted because you're doing dirty keto now, right? Your blood sugar keeps climbing and climbing. So people become very confused. They're like, they lose muscle and they lose water. Like, I went on keto and I lost 40 pounds in 5 weeks. I'm like, you don't look good, honey. So you lost other things rather than sparing the muscle, becoming insulin sensitive. So I'll give you the food list. Just hold on 1 second, peeps. So people's glucose is rebounding and going skyrocketing up high. And now what you guys don't understand is that you had unstable blood sugar before you ever did keto. So these PhDs who are talking about how keto creates insulin resistance are not factoring in the individual's former health of unstable blood sugar. And Nora Gagaldis will spell that off to you guys. I still have rubber bands on my pants from riding my bike, starting to dig into my legs. So I'm just starting to feel it now. But these are some of the problems. So some people actually start to see their blood sugar go high. Now, if it's under 100, it's not good, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Or in milligrams or in millimolars, if your blood sugar goes to a 5.6, you've gone over 100. So what you don't want to do is go over 5.6, and what you don't want to do is go over 100. Now, what I really want you guys to look at is numbers between 69 to 80 or maybe 82 milligrams per deciliter with ketones within a sort of a 2 range, a 2.0 range. And on top of that, your stool has to sink, because if it's floating, you've got fat in your stool and you're losing fat. You're not absorbing it and using it. And you have to feel amazing. So these are the things not taught on other channels, right? They're like, I did keto and I lost all this weight. And you're not even, nobody knows what's really going on the inside of somebody's body. You can tell the public anything you want to tell them. So, as you guys know, I created a series of me being in workout tops all throughout the year, so you can see that I'm not hiding my body. I'm not hiding. I didn't get really fat. I didn't lose any muscle on keto. I'm like consistently, you can see me in videos, right? You can see me in videos. So you can go like, is she getting crepey skin? Is she getting like saggy skin? Is her neck starting to drop? Like, is she going through gluconeogenesis? So these are the things. This is the reason why, because I didn't start off doing keto strict, as I've expressed before. I was telling people to eat all these foods. And of course, I didn't have people eat all that fat either. And they weren't adapting. And then I was getting nervous that people were not adapting and getting sick. And they would get sick, trust me. People were like going to the hospital because they were so dehydrated. Because people would just drop tons of water, not drink enough water, not get enough sodium, not get the sodium-potassium balance, and literally need to go to the hospital. That's what happened in the very beginning. I was getting worried. And then people were starting to have like eczema and, rashes and hypoglycemia, and my hair's falling out. My hair's falling out. Email after email, my hair's falling out. And I was like, okay. So how I started changing the macros is by experimenting with people who were willing to work with me and willing to test glucose and ketones every day for 30 days straight, because those ketone strips are a bit expensive. But there were a few people who were willing to do that with me, especially clients, because I do consultations. My calendar's open, guys. So people are like, I want to book, but your calendar is all full booked. It's all open. So if you guys want a consultation, go to stephanieperson.com. And I also have a keto course, which is freaking amazing, amazing, amazing. Like the stuff that we're talking about, like your lymphatic system, the histamine intolerance issues, the lack of DAO, diamine oxidase, which I've been speaking about in the last 6 live streams, or oxalobacter, because people, and also in the very beginning, I used to say that you used to have 6 to 9 cups of veggies. Not true. Not true. Not true. Oh, goodness. To subscribe to her Facebook keto course page, go to her website, stephanieperson.com, or for a consultation. So with that said, you guys, my Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic, which is really fun for me because I do a lot of information every single day on the stories. So how many veggies should we have daily? So everybody's different. So that's not a one stop. And that's what I've learned over time. One thing does not work for everyone. Okay, we are very similar genetically. I mean, we're almost the same as a tree. But the problem is, it's not that there's so many genetic variants between humans. The problem is that humans frack up their body, right? They have issues. So people do not have stable blood sugar because they've been eating a lot of carbs, skipping meals. And so now the glucagon to insulin synergistic relationship where insulin will drive glucose down to put it somewhere, like take it out of the bloodstream, put it in the muscle, put it in cells so you can thrive and survive. And then glucagon, when your blood sugar gets too low, is to raise it back up through gluconeogenesis and IGF-1, all these little factors to bring your blood sugar back up. And all of a sudden, you become chronically hypoglycemic. And then you do because you're just like, you're drinking alcohol, you're smoking cigarettes, you're eating a really high standard American diet of starchy foods, and Yeah, but Christine, I'm not talking about breast cysts right now. So just save that for when I get off the topic of what the Today Show has rated keto as one of the worst diets of 2018. And I really want to express that if you guys, and listen to me. So Christina's a really good example of, is she a cyst maker, right? Because my mom had, like, she would always get cysts on the back of her shoulders. And I'd be like, what is that lump? Or not even cyst, it was a mass, a growth, right? So you're like, what is that thing on the back of your shoulders back here? You have to factor in everything. All the heavy metals, all the toxins, if you were vaginally birthed, if you were breastfed, if you drink soda as a kid, if you're on antibiotics, medications, and even the supplements are really toxic to the liver. So a lot of you guys don't have you don't methylate properly. A lot of you guys have the MTHFR mutation. There are so many things that are going on. And if you do not balance, unfortunately, you guys, we have to balance all the modern human stupid things that ruin our body. You have to balance. For every one thing that you fix, there's 3 more stupid things that happen to us. And I'm starting to realize everybody's messed up. Everybody. All you guys watching, you're all messed up. So don't tell me that you're not, because you are. You're exposed to heavy metals. If you have amalgam fillings, if you're on birth control pills, if you're on any pharmaceuticals, even if you take NSAIDs, which is like ibuprofen, how that damages the brain and the liver and the stomach and the mucus lining in your pipes and your stomach, the cingulatory IgA mucus lining. And you guys don't even know this kind of stuff. Oh, what's the problem with 200 milligram ibuprofen? A lot. Because if your stomach acids are low and you've been drinking coffee for years and then you're taking ibuprofen on top of that, you're just literally obliterating your digestive system. You want to know why you gain cysts? Why you have breast cysts in your breasts? Estrogen dominance? Don't even have me go there. There's xenoestrogens, phytoestrogens. There's the fact that you're stressed out. You don't sleep. There are so many reasons why you develop cysts in your breasts. It's not like 3 answers. There's like 50 answers. I don't know what you do. I don't know how you breathe. I don't know how you live. I don't even know if you poop. Because if you can't get rid of the estrogen buildup in your liver, in your bloodstream, you have the propensity for problems, right? With the estrogen dominance. So were you dysregulated blood sugar before? What does your body look like? What's your body fat percentage? Is your progesterone on the floor? Is your estrogen here, but your progesterone's on the floor? All of those things matter. So I can't give you an answer, Christina. And I'm realizing this now. Dawn, you have to ask a more specific question rather than can you talk about it? Because otherwise I'll just be like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I can say this. We're born sterile, right? We don't have an immune system of bacteria. We need to gulp. We need to slide out our mother's vajay and gulp the vaginal bacteria. And then we need to be breastfed for more bacteria. That's what we need, and a lot of us are not. And then we're on antibiotics that destroy our gut flora, and medication that destroys our gut flora, and heavy metals that destroy our gut flora, and caffeine and alcohol that lowers the stomach acid and destroys the gut flora. So then we're exposed to parasites and candida, right? It's like a gremlin. We're like, what is it? Where the little happy guy turns into the mean guy at night. That's what happens when our yeast starts turning into a fungal overgrowth, and it destroys your body. Fungus everywhere. That's like on an apple that's been sitting on the counter, or cheese, or in your bathroom. That stuff's in your freaking your digestive tract, and in your bloodstream, and in your brain. And then now your immune system is so overwhelmed, and then we've got heavy metals, and then we've got fluoride. Fluoride in the water totally destroys your gut flora and stomach acids. I mean, it's nuts. Okay, so the problem with amalgam fillings is that amalgam fillings, it's like you're screwed, because if you take them out, you're ingesting more mercury. Even with the holistic dentist, they gotta wear like a hazmat suit and stuff like that. It sucks because you will ingest some no matter what. You can't avoid it. So, and if you can, then some people say keep them in. And then every time you have a hot drink, like the heat is going to like release Mercury. I mean, we are just toxic soup people. I'm very, very jealous of some of these tribal cultures that have perfect gut flora, because I don't. That's for darn sure. I was not breastfed. I wasn't breastfed, so I wasn't even given a chance. Definitely took antibiotics, definitely have mercury fillings. So what I do today, why I adapted, is because I don't complain. I'll do whatever I need to do. I'm not going to sit and take vitamin D supplements. I go take my butt to the rooftop, get some vitamin D from UVB light, plus eat vitamin D rich foods to try to balance my vitamin D3 production. And then all of these really nasty supplements that are so toxic to the liver, like potassium. Yes, people, those potassium supplements damage your liver. Iron supplements for menstruating women damage your liver. Vitamin D in high doses damages the liver. And then we don't even have good liver function, and we're wondering why we got cysts, we got this, we got that, blah, 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 blah. Like, you've got to be able to get the toxins out of your body and clear it out. Like, when the liver is not functioning properly, nor is the kidneys aren't functioning properly. Feel 1,000% better following Stephanie's keto advice, from insulin to average fasting blood sugar of 73 in 5 months. Listen to this lady, she knows her stuff. Thank you, Clinton. That's Cunningham. Thank you. That's awesome. And now I have enough people kind of following me over the years, people, because I did not join this keto trend. Okay? I didn't do that. Stephanie did keto when nobody else did. Nobody. I mean, and I'm still here. And the people that are trending with keto right now, with 350,000 people on their YouTube channel, because that person's like, yes, you lose weight and follow my weight loss program. Do you know how much money I'd make if I'd say, hey, you guys, I'm 51 years of age, follow my balance your hormone and get ripped on keto? I would be so rich right now. I would be a rich itch. I'm serious. I am not kidding. There's 122 people here. I guess YouTube is now letting people see me. Like up the stream, people, so we can bring, or if you wouldn't mind, as to like up the stream, to bring people to this very humble channel where I live in a shoebox, as you guys can see, and I bring my bike inside because it'll be stolen by tomorrow if I don't. Oh. So, vitamin D3, how the exposure that you need is really depending on what color your skin is, right? Because even though I'm kind of pale right now, or maybe the light's making me pale, I still have brown skin. So I need more exposure than somebody of Eurocentricity is with light skin. So it can be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes from 12 noon on. So, okay, I'm going to take your guys' questions, and I just want to state, this is the reason why now today's show is saying that keto is one of the worst diets ever. It's actually one of the best. If the producers actually knew how good it was, they would never say that. But with all the garbage people are doing, they should say, dirty keto of 2018, follow Steph. I'm just saying. Okay, let's get into your questions. I've been following you for 5 years, but I haven't adhered to all your teach, but I'm trying. Awesome. 5 years, that's a long time. See, here's some people have been following me up to 5 years. They do that every year. But see, now keto's trending really hardcore, like hardcore. So now, like, after the Dr. Oz show, then you've got today's show and more shows. So it's time for me to do the circuit of all the shows and reestablish how important it is. Because if you guys have ill parents, kids, siblings, because you guys almost never talk about weight loss. Very rare do I talk about weight loss. When people are really just obsessed and they're like, can I drop my fat? Can I drop my fat? Can I drop my fat once I'm adapted? I'm like, look, if you really, really want to focus on weight loss once you've done all like A, B, C, and D, then we'll talk about it for sure. But for now, let's talk about the issues, the health issues that we have and how great keto is for that. And that you can do it over the long term if it's done properly, right? As long as you don't develop ketoacidosis from being a type 1 diabetic. And even as a type 1 diabetic, they can develop ketoacidosis just from skipping a meal, not eating enough throughout the day. Okay, what about sunbeds? So sunbeds, the sunbeds that have UVA and UVB light are very rare and they're very expensive. So, you know, there are lamps, you guys who live in cold climates. I'm so lucky I don't. I'm not so lucky. I pay high prices to live here. I'm not even gonna lie. Which is why I live in a shoebox. But there are beds, or there's like just like you can hang it up on your wall and just stand like this, and so you don't have to get into a bed, where you can stand and get UVA and UVB light exposure, so you can get vitamin D3. The newbies are making money talking. Yeah, they are, Briseis. They are for now. They're making money, trust. And some of them are just really lovely people, and they see an opportunity to make money, and they do. They make cash. Like all the food porn stuff, all the podcasts and shows that, and then like they're constantly putting out food and calling it keto. Like a book just came out on keto, and all I see is tomato on the cover. Don't you guys understand that tomato is a nightshade? That you wouldn't even like, especially with like canned tomato and tomato that doesn't have the seeds out of it and is de-skinned. Like you guys have bad reaction to it, but you would never equate it to the tomatoes. That's not keto. Sorry. I wish I had followed all your instructions from the beginning, but I fell into dirty keto. Now I have the probs you mentioned because of dirty keto and stress. Exactly. Thank you so much, Olivia. Is that Olivia? Yeah. Olivio's art studio. Yes, exactly. Calvin says, hi, I'm new here. Is keto good for people who just found out they have diabetes? Exactly, Calvin. Like, keto's perfect for diabetic people, type 1 and type 2. It's good for both. And because the Today Show says this, now people who have diabetes, especially the majority of type 2, will be too afraid. Some of them might be too afraid to do keto because it's been rated as a terrible diet that creates problems. No, it doesn't create problems. It creates problems when you do it wrong. So what's the right way to do it? Well, you got to know what your existing health conditions are. You have to understand if you have a dysbiosis of the gut, or imbalance of your gut flora, if you're a third shift night worker, second shift night worker, if you're stressed all the time, if you're on a bunch of pharmaceuticals, if you're alcoholic, like all of those, freaking the smoker, all those things matter. Let me see. I am freaked out on my mind trying to do anything and everything, not start taking pills or shots. So City All Stars, just keep watching my stuff, because like or go to my course page. I have a keto course page. It's $15 a month. You can do 1 month or as many months as you want, because it's a monthly membership. But there we meticulously cover subjects, down to prolapse of the bladder after pregnancy. Well, how do you deal with that? And do keto with the whole carnivore thing. Like one person's like, when I do, I get bloated, right, off of meats. And I was like, okay, where's your meat coming from? Bacteria can create histamine response if the meat has been sitting for a long time. Some people are not just doing strict carnivore, they're just taking down their veggies if they have a histamine response. My body has a hard time using fats. And it's not a gallbladder issue. I think it's my pancreas with a lack of lipase. Can I take enzymes or another? Yeah, of course. But Calvin, are you sure? Are you guessing? Are you sure? Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. You have to do a lot of experiments to know that if there's a lipase problem, if there's an issue with your gallbladder, or if you have leaky gut. That's another thing that people are malabsorptive, and they're eating a lot of fat and it's not being used up, even though there's presence of ketones within the bloodstream. Homemade bone broth is amazing as long as you don't react to the glutamate in the marrow, which is a protein. Do you accept the major cryptocurrencies? No, I'm not that advanced. I never had anybody say that before, Helen. Sorry. Let's see. Thumbs up. Yes. How often should we measure ketones and glucose? I would say Olivio's art studio, pretty often in the first month. Like you could test your fasted AM glucose for a month straight or every other day. You could test all day long your blood glucose all day long to see 2 to 3 hours post meals, or 2 to 2.5 hours. Or you could test post-workout, and you test your ketones only fasted in the morning. And you could do that once a week just because the suckers are so expensive. I'm sure I have no gall. I'm sure I have no gallbladder symptoms, no pain, eating fats. I feel better when I have enzymes with my fat. Okay, cool. Hi, what are your thoughts on raw yogurt and raw honey? Okay, that's not, honey is sugar. Okay, and raw yogurt, you mean like a kefir? Some people just can't. They can't deal with the milk proteins. They react. If you don't react to fermented, to kefir, then perhaps. And it's got to be from A2 cow. I can't teach you anything on turmeric powder because I'm not a turmeric powder expert. Is unfortified nutritional yeast all right? It's pretty high in carbs, so you guys got to be very sparingly when you use the nutritional yeast. And there's nothing like getting your B complex from liver, organ meats. So I've got a lot of people trying the organ meats, which is like tongue, brain, heart, which, you know, especially beef heart, liver, lamb, chicken, beef, and kidneys. So kidneys are really great for the production of diamine oxidase for you guys who've got histamine intolerance, according to Chris Master John, which I'm kind of feeling like yes. And then you've got liver, which is the most nutrient dense food on the planet, and it's got all these things where you guys are deficient in. Super important, like zinc and retinol, vitamin A, and vitamin C. How come Stephanie recommends heavy cream? Because he has no idea, Helen. And you guys know I love Steve Finney. But Steve Finney does not, he has not done his testing with all different kinds of populations. You've got issues with these foods. And their studies at that juncture when he was putting out those books was not keto over the long term. So there you go. It's not, you guys, it's not that hard. I mean, doctors are not gods. They're not gods. They're human beings, and they can be fallible in some of their ideology on the types of foods. He also says use bouillon cubes, and those are MSG, which create issues with the brain. So, you know, they're not gods, people. How do you cure leaky gut now that I'm on keto carnivore? So leaky gut is, you know, it's a long journey. Leaky gut is like, first, like simple stuff, like diaphragmatic breathe, 4 breaths every hour. Also, like, you know, don't allow yourself to get exposed to blue light at night. Lamps, blue light lamps or blocking glasses, candlelight, exercise. It's sleep is the biggest one, especially sleep between 9 p.m. and midnight is really reparative to the body. It is potentially things like glutamine. It is potentially things like slippery elm, maybe, and collagen from chicken feet, pig feet, oxtail. You know, maybe hydrolyzed powdered. It's eating organ meat, so you're very absorptive in all the nutrition that you need to fix cells. Thank you, Kathleen Hackney. I really appreciate the tenor. Thank you for donating to the super chat. Really appreciate it. And I always forget that it's on. So when somebody donates, I appreciate the consideration of the hard work. Salt substitutes? Why? You need salt. If you don't have salt, you're going to have issues. Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have calcium buildup? No, I don't understand the question. For, like, breathe in through nose, fill up the belly with air, and then hold it in, let it out, and allowing your central nervous system to relax. You're not all tense. Because that tension creates an excess of cortisol. Cortisol is going to be catabolic in excess. You don't want a lot of cortisol. You know, it's an anti-inflammatory, and then it's an inflammatory in excess. And we're all fracked up. We are all stressed. Don't tell me you're not stressed. You are. You are. Okay? Come on, people. Okay, let's see here. Himalayan salt. Himalayan salt or Celtic salt. So bone marrow broth is good for leaky gut. Because it's got, like, you know, it's got a lot of stuff in it. It's got fat soluble vitamins in it. It's got glutamine in it. And then you guys can add like oxtail or chicken feet and get more collagen, or from the bone knuckle you can get collagen. But some people who've got histamine intolerance and leaky gut react to the glutamate, not glutamine, glutamate protein in the marrow. So you just got to test it and see how you react. All this stuff for years. I only keto adapted on her protocol. Jeanette. Oh man, this is so cool. I don't know you guys, but when you make those statements, I'm like, okay, all the hard work was worth it with a couple of comments, because I don't know who's watching me. Do you know what I mean? My channel growth is slow as frack. Really though, like I've been on the internet for 10 years and I haven't even hit 100K subs. So the only reason why I'm at to 90K is diligent, consistent posting on topics that are not sexy. Like I'm not talking about weight loss, right? I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing a bunch of food porn videos. And I'm just doing like humble stuff videos, trying to teach you guys about, thank you, Michelle Tomeo. Thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. This is very sweet. So, you guys, I don't make a living off of YouTube, actually. I just started monetizing. Like when I signed up to do live streams, I saw that they had a donation to a super chat, which a few people have donated to. And I'm like, I was on the fence, because if you see my older videos, I don't really monetize them. I don't like to watch 15 seconds of videos and commercials, and I don't want you guys to either do that. But I decided to turn it on, and now that I've turned it on, it's not a part of my income, but it's really nice to see that people have spent their hard-earned money, because they really believe in what I'm saying. Otherwise, they would never donate. Trust me. And I have a lot of women, so it's like, it's just awesome. I have irritable bowel syndrome. What can I do about it? Carnivore, James. Keto carnivore. Start with 200 grams of fat or higher. You have to rotate. There's a lot of experimentation that you have if you have IBS or Crohn's or diverticulitis. There's a lot of experimenting, because I don't know if you have leaky gut. I don't know if you have histamine intolerance. And they could all be connected, right? The IBS, sitting to the toilet every 5 seconds. It could be that you're reacting on a certain plant. So you're going to have to rotate, or you're going to try one food. I'm going to eat eggs all day long. Oh, didn't feel good on that. Was on the toilet a lot. Or, I had 4 avocados and I was fine. So you keep the avocados in, but you take the eggs out. Like, there's just a lot of experimentation that you gotta do. And of course, nobody talks about this. Why? Why is not anybody talking? Oh, I'm sorry, because they can't make money talking about you having to work harder for the achievable optimal health. Okay, so hello, how do I make this work if I do not eat meat or any other organic chicken, breast, fish? What? Other, you don't eat chicken breast, you eat chicken thighs, legs, wings, and salmon. There you go. But that's not going to be enough fat. You might want to get to the ghee and do some clarified butter. Or you can get some chicken fat. I think fatworks.com has chicken fat, pure chicken fat. You can do that. That'll work. Raw, rare, or well done meat. Depends, like probably rare. I mean, I did raw for a couple of weeks and as an experiment, and what I've been hearing is that your body's not used to the bacteria, so I got like, it was totally good. It was fine. It was cool. But I had loose stool, and then people say that your gut rebalances and that it's solidified. So somebody with like Crohn's, IBS, they tend to do a lot better with healing the inflammation of their pipes through going raw. And if you don't have an inflammatory response, you wouldn't need to go completely raw. Tastes better raw. I love it. Yeah, it tastes really good raw. Some things, like liver is not my favorite raw, but I will eat anything raw if it's going to make my health better. My fingers and toes get cold a few hours after eating lots of fat from tallow and coconut oil. Well, Calvin, coconut oil is not a ketogenic fat, and if your fingers or toes are getting cold, you might have an underlying thyroid issue, or I don't know what it is. I just don't know. Yo, we got 122 people watching, you guys. I can't see who's liking the stream. So if you like up the stream, it just helps bring people to the channel. And if you don't know how to like, you just hit the X in the right corner, collapse the chat, hit the thumbs up, and then reopen the chat. It'd really be great if we can get the likes up. And I need to drink water, because when I don't drink water, I get a friggin' headache. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Now we're at 99. Let's get to 100. Boom, 100. Awesome. Okay, keto sticks, the strips, the urine strips, are other garbage. They don't work if you're using urine strips, which is like Stone Age. Why are y'all using... I mean, I've been telling people to use blood glucometer for like 6, 7 years. Why are people using strips? This ancient times. This is Fred Flintstone times. No, people. No, if your thing turns purple, you're losing and hemorrhaging ketones. If you're adapted, it'll be clear. Even Steve Finney says that. Okay, it's Bob Evans sausage patty, 11 grams of protein, 14 grams of fat, 0 net carbs. Kathleen, I don't know if he uses sugar, because they all do. You can't look at the nutritional breakdown. You must look at the ingredients. I don't care about the nutritional breakdown only for the amount of protein and fat, but really I'm always looking for that hidden sugar or vinegar or maltodextrin in your shite. What dietary solutions are there to fix the thyroid? Calvin, it's not dietary measures, it's your whole life, right? So I don't know if you're not methylating. I don't know if you're malabsorptive. I don't know how your sleep is. Like, I don't know if you exercise or not. But if you do, you have to go to bed early. You have to breathe. You have to straighten your posture so you have a straight line, plumb line. And then on top of all of these lifestyle changes, then you factor in eating high fat to make sure that you're eating fats that you don't react to. Because like you said, you have to take, I think it was you had to take enzymes to digest it, I think it was. Or ox bile, you have to make sure that you chew your food slowly because everybody's a fast eater. There's a ton of stuff, whole foods, organic foods, grass-fed, pasture, like there's a lot to it. I'm confused now about coconut oil as a source for fat. Has this changed? Yeah, I changed it because I've been coaching. Nobody else has coached as many people as I have. Nope, because nobody's been around as long as I have. And people kept using coconut oil and they weren't adapting. I'm like, well, just take it out. Don't take it out because coconut oil is great for the lauric acid benefits. It's antimicrobial, antifungal, fungal, viral. So it's really good for the brain, especially people like I have my mom eat coconut oil every day because of her the glioblastoma and her brain swelling post-surgery. It's great. It's amazing. If she's stuttering and she has a couple tablespoons of coconut oil, it goes away. But the problem is, it's not making more ketones. It's not adapting people. So it's not a substitute. It's an addition to the animal fats. Okay, I don't think that hunger is also on that. Okay, to book a consultation, you go to stephanieperson.com, and that's what Deborah's typing. So if you guys don't know how to spell my name, there it is in nice big block, capital letters. Thanks for clearing that up. You're welcome. You're welcome. So you guys, I'm 51. I've been doing this for 11 years. I haven't refed on any alcohol, sweets, sweet fruits, sugar, bread, pasta, none of it. No, none of it. And I want to be my own experiment because every time I travel, people are like, well, nobody's going to know if you eat this. And I'm like, I know. So I want to be clean for as long as I can and to keep records. So I'm my own subject, as you guys are your own subject as well when you're experimenting with any dietary measure. Okay, thanks for clearing that up. Thank you for looking so young. Thank you, Ricky. You know what it is, you guys? I have that thing. It's called denial, and it's not just a river in Egypt. Like, I don't have time to get old. You guys know I was a professional skateboarder. I've had knee surgeries. I've had 10 knee surgeries. My legs totally destroyed. At one point I needed my right hip to be replaced. I've broken so many things. But at this juncture in my life, a lot of who I am is here and here, blah, 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 blah. And I want people to realize that we don't have to be put out to pasture. Like I've said this in other streams. Don't let people tell you how to dress. You guys know I dress funky. I dress and I do what I want to do. I'm 51. Don't tell me how to talk, how to be, how to live stream, because I'm not going to listen. I'm only going to listen if people actually take the time to give me something that's of value, not these one-liners. So I'm trying to encourage you guys to do this dietary measure and not give up and to try to learn as much as you can. Is liver okay? What? It's not organic. It's not the best if it's not organic. I wouldn't be too inclined. I mean, if you need it short term, like hemoglobin, if you're a menstruating woman, like liver is amazing to raise your hemoglobin levels. If you need vitamin A, for example, and you don't want to use supplements, then you could use non-organic liver. But then after a certain short amount of time, you got to get off that and get to the organic pastured, or at least organic. Why some people do well on intermittent fasting? I don't get it. Nobody, Nikos, they'll lie. People lie on the internet, Nikos. They lie. They lie. Y'all go, you could go like, Stephanie was once fat. I think Stephanie, if I was wearing sweatshirts and long sleeve shirts, and you go, Stephanie was once overweight and not looking healthy, or if you didn't see me for weeks at a time, then you, and if I didn't live stream, for example, you could say like, she's not looking well on this diet. You could say that. But nobody ever does. And they can't. They can't. They cannot. So, you know, people will deconstruct and try to pick at every little thing on my body. But in reality, they can't really pick at me because I'm just showing who I am every single day. So, and people saying that they're doing well on intermittent fasting, it's not contextual. I get people that go, I do intermittent, it's like children too. I do intermittent fasting, like on my channel when I do intermittent fasting title, like if I title it that on the live stream, I do intermittent fasting and it does me perfectly. And I'm like, who are you? What do you look like? People will believe in anything when they're drinking the Kool-Aid. It's hard to get people off of stuff. People say like, keto's so restrictive. It's so not fun. And I'm like, it's the way you think, right? So especially when I came back from Africa the last time, I was like, we have thousands of choices of food. What you complaining about? Stop. Kill me. Stop. 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 It's all up here. If you think that intermittent fasting's done you well because you stepped on a scale and you're down 20 pounds, but you are now hypoglycemic, but you're ignoring that, right? Your skin's crepey, your dark circles under the eyes, menstrual cycle got weird, but you're just ignoring that because you lost 25 pounds, you are going to drink that intermittent fasting Kool-Aid. You are. Because people aren't breaking down. They're like, what about autophagy? And what about like liver, kidney, colon clearance? And I was like, if you do intermittent fasting for a long period of time and you're not using viable ketones, you are breaking down amino acids. That is a fact. You are going to get crepey and you are not going to look well. So people will drink their own Kool-Aid. So I'm doing this video like the Today Show says that keto is one of the worst diets of 2018. And I'm like, yeah, if you do it wrong. So I'm not going to give you a bunch of Kool-Aid people. I'm like, don't do this if you don't have the discipline. Don't waste your time. Stephanie Ariel asks if it's safe to do keto while pregnant. Of course. But if you do it wrong, it's not safe at all. It's a very thin line on what's safe and not safe. And there is no like, here's the top 3 ways to do keto while you're pregnant. You want to know? Go to my course page and ask the other women who are pregnant and doing keto what they did. You know, but you have to really factor in your prior health while being pregnant on keto. But I've seen many women report to me, hey, Stephanie, I followed your protocol, I got pregnant. Hey, Stephanie, I followed your protocol when I was in the middle of my pregnancy and did great. Hey, Stephanie, I did keto while breastfeeding and my milk, my breast dried up of milk. And I'm not producing enough milk. And I'm like, get off of keto and do low carb, high fat. You're not doing well on this. There's a lot of stuff to factor. Can I overdose on vitamin A if I keep vitamin E and K2 high? Are you talking about supplementation or are you talking about from food? That's a big difference. Because if it's carotene, yes, then it can be really toxic. I'm not an expert, and I don't think anybody is, Fernando. But I'm leaning on the yes, it should be fine if you don't have any type of, toxicity reaction to a certain vitamin. I don't know. Report back to us and let us know. I actually discovered you earlier today and you've been binge watching learning today. I could not believe you are here live. Yes, still speaking the truth. Thank you. What is it? Needy? Thank you. Needy? Is it needy? 90, I think. Helen, exploitations that toddlers and children should be able to do keto safely. Exploitation. children should be able to do keto safely? Do you know with certainty? I can't say adults are doing keto with certainty. So many people fail. It's only 5% who actually adapt. So no, nothing's certain. Nothing. You really have, like, on my keto course page, I am constantly dealing with people. When people stay month after month after month, and I do many consultations on Sundays. When I'm constantly talking to the person, it might be like 3-4 months before I start to figure out. I'm like, what about this? They're like, oh, I never thought of that. So a quick, blurb of a question, I can't give you the answer. I'm having trouble getting back on keto. Okay, so I don't know why. Why is that? Stress? Can't pre-prep the food? I don't understand. If you're hungry at night, start adding more fat in your day, and you shouldn't be hungry. So no, don't ignore it. That's a problem. In order for you to succeed on keto, you have to be on point every single day and every single second of the day. So Briseis is right. Like, you guys can't cheat your way into any dietary measure or any type of health. A lot of women want to do fitness competitions, and they want to take, like, pharmaceuticals. They want to take supplements. They want to take all this kind of stuff. They want to just starve and do a bunch of cardio, and then their thyroid just go poof, and they're just fracked up afterwards because they look good for what, a half a day, or not even that, 4 hours at a fitness competition, and then after that their electrolyte imbalance is nuts. Like, they gain like 10 pounds of water in their legs, blah, 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 the next day after a fitness competition. The assumption is doing keto correctly. This is supposed to be optimal diet for scientific point of view. Yes, but it's not. You can't. There's no broad stroke in it. What is successful? Everybody, like, let's say Deborah has rheumatoid arthritis, so she has to work 10 times harder than somebody who doesn't. Do you see what I mean? And some people work from home, and some people work a job that just 2 jobs. So the person who works 2 jobs is going to have much more difficulty, or a night shift worker. So what is correct? Do you know what I mean? The individual has to make a lot of personal changes to make this dietary measure work. With caveats. Yes, generally said with a lot of caveats. Bulk cook, yeah. Hej snyggling, tack så mycket. Du kommer från Sverige eller en annat land, till exempel Norge eller Danmark. Men jag tror att du kommer från Sverige. Om du kommer från Sverige, det är faktiskt för sent. Eller hur? Jag undrar. Ja, du är Sverige. Fantastiskt. Jag försöker att komma ihåg min svenska. Det är svårt för att jag har ingen att prata med, men jag försöker i alla fall. Så där. Nej, jag pratar inte bra. Absolut 100%, jag har ingen att prata med. Så det är därför det är svårt för mig att komma ihåg minningar eller ord här och där. Det är väldigt svårt. Men jag försöker. Sorry guys, I got caught up in speaking Swedish. There's 111 people here, but I'm talking to one person. So, sorry. Elio, är du en tjej eller pojke? Eller killar? Ganska bra. Oh, there's another one. Oh, det finns 2 som kommer från. Oh, Matthias, Sweden 76 is also. Oh, du är en tjej. Okay, Ellie. Där. Och Matthias och Ellie båda kommer från Sverige. So I have like a special place in my heart for the Scandinavians because I lived there for so long. And my last name is so Swedish, right? Persson. Riktigt namn. Förnamn. No worries, you get to practice. Thank you, Briseis. Det finns 3. Det finns en mer. Ja. Helen, du kommer från Sverige? Okay. Finns 3. I mean, but it's late, you guys. Why are the Swedes up? It's freaking the middle of the night there. Eller hur? Okay, it's an hour. I'm like, I'm gonna go on for 30 minutes. It is like, always staying on too long. I was the only one at Christmas that wasn't bloated and miserable. I was so happy. I love it. That's so hilarious. Or sleepy, right? People eating a lot of carbs and they're getting kind of like brain. Like you watch people eat a big meal and then afterwards, people don't know how to communicate after. They kind of start doing weird stuff, getting on their phone or playing with kids because after they're having like this hypoglycemia reaction after a dinner and they can't function. Watch every dinner where there's a lot of carbs. Watch how people socialize after. It gets really, really, disjointed and broken up into little fragments. How's everyone doing? Jag mitt i natten, men vill inte missa din liv alive. Oh, thank you. Tack. I feel privileged. Tack så mycket. Tusen tack. Definitivt. För alla som kommer från Sverige som tittar på mig nu. Live. Yes, you can do it, Helen. Everyone can do this. Yes. Ja, du kan. Definitivt. Positivt. As you guys can see, the words are very similar to English. Definitivt. Definitely. Okay, so jag tror att jag ska gå nu. So you guys, I think it's time for me to go. Thank you so much for joining this live stream with little old Stephanie. Yes. Thank you, Briseis, and thank you, Deborah, for answering a lot of the questions that were popping up while I was talking. I'm losing weight. I was 420 pounds. Now I'm 418. So hopefully you're not losing any muscle because that's what you want to do is try to lose, you want to regulate your insulin and hunger and sleep and all this stuff. So yes, thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Briseis. And it's time for me to go. Thank you, everyone. I had some really good people in this live stream today. We clearly got over 100 likes. I feel like, ooh, the future is scary when it's all about likes. My husband and I've been keto for 10 weeks now. He's lost 40 pounds. I've lost 14, but just found out I have low thyroid and low estrogen. And that's where, Danielle, you have to be very careful. You can't look at the weight on the scale. It's never about the weight on the scale. You should really go look at the weight of your insulin. What's your insulin score and A1C? Can you keto through pregnancy? Of course, yes, of course. If it's done correctly, and you have to learn a lot about your pre-health and current health. Ooh, Briseis, child, thank you. She says, thank you. Thank you helping me make 2018 such a fantastic year for me. I've learned so much and words alone can't express my gratitude. Briseis, but you've also been so inspirational. You and Deborah are two people that have really, really kept me, because, nobody knows, like, I have, like, really awful days sometimes and, like, annoying days. And it's so nice to see such positive people around me. And thank you so much, Briseis. And I feel bad because she's on my course page. She's on the course page and she's on this and donating, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Briseis. God, we have love for you, baby girl. Okay, Clinton says, so much misinformation about keto. Girl at work is doing keto. Her lunch was chicken breast, VA, which is sugar and garbage, with peeled tomato skin like a nightshade. 3 Hershey's Kisses. Lord have mercy, child. Can see why keto is the worst diet of 2018, according to the Today Show. Exactly. Briseis is amazing. I know. Thank you so much, Briseis. And Deborah, thank you so much. No pain levels are practically gone, Danielle says. You're so welcome, Briseis says. And Deborah's always giving me the hearts. So, All right, guys, time for me to go and enjoy my evening, which I won't because I will, but I'll be always working. Trust, Stephanie's working. Things are going to get really going in 2019. Everything's going to change. I said this years ago, but when you're doing everything yourself in the majority, it's hard to predict how you can get things done and finished. But at least all my stuff is real and none of it's fake, right? And I'm not like just trying to make cash without thinking about people's health first. Deborah, you're always killing it, right? MRTTTTTT says you're awesome. Okay, guys, thank you again. Thank you for coming on to the live stream. And don't forget to like up the stream. People who watch the replay, like up the stream. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. My website is stephanieperson.com for the keto course or to book a consultation. And I have a free Facebook group, which I'm on every day, which is called Stephanie the Business, as in, right? The business person. And I'm out. Have a good night, Danielle. Good night, everyone. Love my audience. Nice grown-up people with, most people are respectful. A few trolls, but oh, what a beautiful community. Right, Helen? Such a beautiful community. Thank you, Kelly. Kathy says, I made a meatloaf. Use pork rinds instead of breadcrumbs. It's delicious. Exactly. Perfect example how to make. It is easy to make keto taste really tasty. That's not hard at all. All right, guys, as you can see, the sun is down. It's been down for a while, and I'm out, so bye. Hearts, 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 hearts. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Deborah Sibri says, have a great night. Steph, Deborah, and everyone, make your keto priority for 2019. Right? Best said. And thank you, Ricky Jones. Bye, guys, and I'm out. Bye.